Pens for Men Undergarment Studios in Orange County, California. It's the Indispensable Thursday Show with Sable and Dave. Mediocrity never goes out of style.
And this is podcast recording take 2.
It's only take 2 because, even though I'm a right-winger, I am pro-abortion, especially when it's aborting horrible improv sketches, which I was just attempting to do. It was terrible, so I said, let's just scrap this and move on.
Our Microsoft support call.
Maybe we'll try it again another time.
Our Microsoft support call was aborted.
Oh my God. I was terrible.
It was actually pretty good.
You think so?
I think it was pretty good.
Thank you for calling Microsoft. My name is Tommy. How can I help you? Next time. Next time.
So, Dave, I've descended way down deep into the bowels of Parenthood Midnight Snacks.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Now, after a nice barbecue, after a nice steak, I went to have a late night snack, as I do every night between 11 and midnight. I usually eat a...
Was this the night that we were eating steak here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you'll remember that I opened that giant bottle of champagne.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't quite finish it. So I figured I'd have a glass later that night. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted a little snack, so I reached in, I grabbed the goldfish, and I realized I was drinking a fine glass of champagne and eating goldfish crackers.
Crackers, oh good. I was hoping you weren't sticking your hand into your aquarium.
Goldfish crackers. And I thought, this is the deep bowels of parenthood here.
You hit bottom. Well, the first step is admitting you have a problem, Sable.
They're good, man. I thought maybe I should have it again.
Thank God I don't like goldfish, because I don't know if I'd be able to stop. Terrible.
That would explain the letter we got from the Goldfish Equality Coalition.
Oh, really?
With their complaints against you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about the crackers.
Screw them. Mm-hmm.
The crackers.
Yes,
got
the
it.
cracker. So anyway, this is the first show we've done since we were featured on the wildly popular I Doubt It with Dollamore podcast.
Yeah,
Do you have any thoughts about the? It's another podcast. Some of you might be familiar with. It's called I Doubt It with Dollamore, hosted by Jesse Dollamore and his lovely co-host Brittany Page. Mm-hmm. We went over to the studios over there. The lovely, they're very nice. They're deep deep Orange County there at the lovely white privilege studios near the near Wage Gap Plaza. Uh-huh. We walked over to Wage Gap Plaza afterwards, hung out by the reflecting pool. We had some cake pops. It was good. All the pictures are blurry. I had to delete all of them. I would have posted them, but very nice. It was very fun. I hope some of you heard it. If you haven't, go check it out. It's from last week. When did we go over there?
You go to dollamore.com, and you probably want to subscribe in your podcast player, but they're a twice a week news and politics show. So you have to go back to last week's episode number 149, the extra long double episode with Sable and Dave from the Indispensable Thursday show. So
massive, they could not fit it into one regular podcast. It had to be a double episode.
It was very enjoyable.
It was very enjoyable. Jesse is super, super nice, sweet guy. He's like a big teddy bear. He was, ex-Marine. What is he, like 6'4", maybe? He was like 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". His
personality seems like he's maybe 7'2".
Yeah, he's got that big podcasting voice, and which I can't do yet. I'm still working on the impersonation. But we didn't disagree as much as we had hoped. Mm-hmm. We were very similarly, we didn't disagree enough. So hopefully we'll have him on the show, and I'll make sure that I put my bullet points down where I can attack him properly on his.
That's right. You guys are going to have a real head-to-head.
Yeah, it won't be that bad. It's of course we agree on most things. Although I think I couldn't. Talking with him after the show, we stayed and chatted for quite a while, and. I don't think I don't think I can name any conservatives that he likes. He seems to hate everybody. Like everybody he'd mentioned, Dinesh D'Souza. He used the C word, but I can't say it because our show's we don't use that. But it seems like everybody was like, who does he like? I don't know. Maybe we could ask him to give us a list of some prominent conservatives that he likes.
Good. Let's set up some interview questions for him.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
But anyway, big teddy bear of a guy. Thought he was awesome, and Brittany was lovely, and it was very fun. So thanks for having us.
So dear listeners, go check out dollamore.com, listen to their show, and then if you have questions you would like us to ask Jesse, as in what brand hair dye does he purchase, those kind of things, send it to us. You could tweet it at Sable and Dave, or call us on our hotline.
Oh, hey,
Dave, what's the hotline?
I don't have it up yet. Hang on. I always have that page up. Can I just read it off of there? I'm not as good as Jesse. He knows their phone number.
Every week,
I know it's
Dave,
area code 657. Is that right?
Dave, every week.
I know, every week.
I set you up to read the...
I'm supposed to have it like right in front of me. And
657.
Yeah, 657-206.
206.
206.
0777.
That's 0777. So 657-206-0777.
0777. We couldn't get 0007?
No, they didn't have it.
Maybe 0777
I would have picked that.
Is a Hawaii with Hope's actual code number. That's a good one. So once again, I would like to let everybody know this week's episode is brought to you by Backblaze.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back up your computer. Back it up. You go get Backblaze, $5 a month. It installs on your machine. There's no limit to the amount of data you can back up. You install it, it backs everything up. In case something goes wrong, your computer dies, your backup drive dies, your apartment burns down, or California falls into the ocean, you just go to another computer, log into Backblaze, get your stuff. They'll even send you a hard drive.
What if Donald Trump has your hard drive deported? What do you do then?
You can still access your backup data through Backblaze.
They'll have it somewhere?
Yep.
Okay. Just checking.
Yep. They have some pretty good
What if Hillary
technology.
Clinton has it wiped? Your hard drive wiped clean, like with a cloth?
I don't think she can really wipe a hard drive.
All right,
yeah.
well,
So
find
anyways,
out.
You go to theindispensable.com/backblaze and sign up. It's only $5 a month, and we really appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, do it. What's the code? They have to put in a code.
They go to theindispensable.com/backblaze, and I've already put the code in the URL
so you just
redirect.
click through?
Yep.
Okay, good. I wasn't paying attention. Did you say that already? And I just talked over it?
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
No, maybe you're not an idiot, but
oh yes, I am.
Maybe not an idiot.
No.
So Dave, I wanted to tell you about your favorite thing, the latest games that are coming out.
Oh, do tell.
You're so excited. Well, there's only a few games that I'm really into playing right now, and I guess I haven't had a lot of time in all of them. But Hearthstone, the card game, collectible card game, it's free to play on Battle.net from Blizzard. You play it on your iPhone or iPad or on your PC.
You have a big stiffy for this Hearthstone. You've brought it up quite a few times.
Well,
I should probably check it out.
It's a lot of fun.
I can put it on my iPhone, you say?
Your iPhone, maybe not.
My iPhone 5C won't hold it?
It probably will.
It's too big for the iPhone 5C.
But it might be more storage than
I only have 8 gigabytes.
You need like a gig to play the game.
Okay.
So there's an expansion. There's a new expansion that came out. So there's lots of new cards that you can build with. Mm-hmm. This expansion is called the Grand Tournament. So you don't have to spend any real money if you're a cheap bastard like I am. You save up your in-game gold that you earn by playing the game and doing quests. And I was able to open up 15 packs, and it was a lot of fun. I spent all my gold reserves, opened up a ton of packs. Now I can go build new decks and play the Grand Tournament.
Sure a lot of listeners know what that means, and I don't.
Well, maybe I'll show you later. But there's some new mechanics like Inspire, and hey, if you got a favorite Hearthstone deck, let me know.
Yeah, send us an email,
or we'll join up and we'll battle on Hearthstone. I won't make this a whole Hearthstone podcast. We'll move along to.
We have the creators of Hearthstone come on. We'll talk about the programming of Hearthstone.
The creators of Hearthstone do go on other podcasts, but they're usually Blizzard and Hearthstone focused podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, forget that.
We might make fun of them if they came on our show, so maybe they'd be afraid.
Mm-hmm. I certainly would make fun of them.
Mm-hmm. And I've actually been in the midst of a book that is not a Star Wars novel.
No.
Now, I think that's because I'm current. I've read all the currently released Star Wars novels, and I may be a month or two until the next one comes out.
So how far into 50 Shades of Grey are you?
That is not a book that I'm interested in.
My mistake. Which one are you reading?
I'm reading a book called The Einstein Prophecy.
Mm-hmm,
Did I mention this last
Einstein
week?
Prophecy. I don't think
I can't recall. As war rages in 1944, young Army Lieutenant Lucas Athen recovers a sarcophagus excavated from an Egyptian tomb. Shipped to Princeton University for study, the box contains mysteries that only Lucas, aided by brilliant archaeologist Simone Rashid, can unlock.
Ooh, is she hot too?
She's super hot. She's got a PhD from
But
Cambridge.
only after she takes her glasses off, right? Like she keeps her hair up in a bun. And she's
no
got
glasses.
Big glasses. Contacts?
No, yeah, none of that.
Her eyes are perfect?
There's Einstein.
So she must be like under 30.
Oppenheimer, Nazis, art. And for you religious freaks, there's angels and demons and other weird magic.
Okay.
And the author here, without giving anything away, Robert Maslow, he takes some fact from the world and he ties in this really interesting fiction story.
He weaves in the real stuff with the imagined.
So I had to stop and go look up, like, who was this saint? Was this real? It turns out the saint was real. The things they were talking about with the saint were all documented.
Oh.
And then he's making up a really compelling story around it. I mean, you got spies, the OSS, Nazis. I mean, it's Hitler. It's very interesting.
That sounds almost as good as Whiskey Tango, a whole other kind of spy novel that I wrote myself a couple of years ago. Check it out.
I read Whiskey Tango faster. I must have enjoyed it more.
And it's got a brand new cover on it, too. I switched covers on it.
Oh,
I keep
nice.
changing covers. I'm like, I have a better idea. I should actually maybe get some artists to do a cover.
How would somebody go read Whiskey Tango?
Oh, you can find it on Amazon. It's an ebook.
Okay.
So look for go to Amazon. Whiskey Tango, a whole nother kind of spy novel.
And you make $19.99 every time somebody buys one?
No, it's only like $2.99, and I get a nice kickback from that from the Amazon people.
That's a better deal than the Einstein Prophecy, which is $7.98 in paperback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, screw that guy.
Or if you,
I think mine probably has more laughs.
It's $5 on Kindle. Yours is definitely
Mine's
funny.
documented to have at least 207 laughs.
I think I could do the audiobook for that.
Yeah, you want to read it for me?
I could do the whole audiobook just like this. That's right. I fell into that pond.
It's an underground stream.
Yeah. I didn't want to give anything away.
Oh, sorry.
No spoilers. I got a shirt. I got a new T-shirt. And I tweeted this out on my personal Twitter at Sable Cantus because there's a podcast that I support called Cast of Kings. You know, when Game of Thrones was in season, we were talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And they had a special episode for those of us that stayed subscribed that said, hey, we're going to have a T-shirt run. It's only going to be for a few days until they run out of whatever number. And so I bought one. So I have a T-shirt.
Oh, they didn't shoot it out of a little cannon at your face?
No, it says Cast of Kings. It says, we do not spoil.
Cast of Kings, we do not spoil. I don't get that. Am I supposed to get that?
Because they don't spoil anything from the books or
like
from
no
future.
Spoilers.
There's no spoilers.
God, I'm slow.
Right? Which I'm horribly guilty of completely spoiling movies and books.
Okay.
When I talk to people. So
I only spoiled the crap out of that one movie that we talked about, which was
and had to edit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a different one. Yeah.
I actually have to admit
I got chastised by a female listener that I revealed too much of the one with what's his name, Cumberbatch, the one where he's trying to find the Nazi code thing. But anyway, this is. I was going to talk about just real quick. Since you're talking about a book on YouTube, I've kind of discovered these a few months ago, but I was today I was like zipping through them. There's a series of BBC concerts from the early 70s that they have in their entirety on there. They're awesome. They have a Bill Withers one I was listening to on the way over here. There's a James Taylor one. There's a Gordon Lightfoot, but it's just them sitting in a little room
at the Beacon Theater,
recorded live. I'm not sure which theater it is, but it's they're about 30 minutes ish, and oh man, they're so good. I ripped MP3s out. I have in my car.
Nice.
The James Taylor one, he's pretty much firing on all cylinders. It's like right at the James Taylor peak. He's got the long hair, and he's just picking like a psycho crazy man. And Lightfoot, same thing. And Bill Withers, same thing. Awesome. Check them out. The BBC concerts.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Really good. Check them out.
BBC.
Put them on at a party. You know, if you have a party, have a little soiree, put them on. Very good. Can't go wrong.
Right. So, Dave, life's short. Have you had an affair?
I'd rather not say.
Boy, that was a long pause. I have some clips of you responding with other things, but I'm not going to edit them in. We have, in general, for our fair listeners, for the most part, we don't edit the show.
Yeah. Except for today when I said, let's abort this horrible sketch where I was terrible.
No, we actually didn't. We didn't edit it. We just recorded right over it.
Yeah, we just kind of stopped and said, screw this. Let's just start the show.
We did it. We did a take two. Last week, I went through and I edited out some popping peas.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, popping peas.
Now I'm going to have to...
Don't edit those out.
Now I'm going to have to edit that out.
People will have a like a baseline. They know that that's a bad pee.
That's not how it works.
What a good pee is later.
See, because that's going to be a very loud peak. All the rest of your voice won't rise up when I bring the levels up. So I have to bring that down to bring everything up.
Right, when I leaned in like that, everyone's going to turn their volume down in their car, and then they're going to have to turn it up again when I start talking again. Okay.
That's right. So
sorry,
no criticism, but maybe I'll have to edit this episode. So I just wanted to follow up on Ashley Madison. This is a fascinating story because people have been losing their minds. You know, the hackers.
People have lost more than that, actually.
Well, the hackers, who, in my opinion, were angry and spiteful because somebody probably cheated on them with Ashley Madison. Should we review this?
Set it up again. Tell people Ashley Madison is the site where you can get on to have an affair, and they were hacked, and all their data was released. So we're following up on this show. This program. 33
million account details were stolen. Mm-hmm. So the Rosen law firm of New York began an outright solicitation for Ashley Madison users to join a prospective privacy and consumer fraud suit against Ashley Madison. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be big.
Well, everybody who runs Ashley Madison, they're very honorable. I'm sure they'll just get their checkbooks out and pay all the people off.
Now, the company that runs
this will work out nicely.
It's called Avid Life Media. Now, there was a couple of sites that were involved in this. There was the Ashley Madison, and then there was another one called Established Gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Now, they have another site. I forgot the name of it. Cougar something.
Mm-hmm. I forget the name, too.
Well, the one where the older women hook up with younger men, they didn't hack that site. So I don't know what's up with that. Like, why didn't they pick on the one where the ladies were looking to skip out?
Well, I'll tell you why after you get done with your thing.
Tell me why.
Well, I was doing some further reading on this, and somebody really got into the data and crunched the numbers. They found out that there's, out of the 31 million subscribers. This is just, I don't know if this is for all of the sites, the Cougar and the Established Men, whatever. There are actually only maybe 5,000 or 6,000 actual human female subscribers out of the 31 effing million.
Wow.
One woman had a job like creating fake female accounts.
Right,
in Brazil.
She was paid to make accounts.
Yeah, she was paid to just make fake accounts, and she actually tried to sue them because they were working her so hard. She had like carpal tunnel syndrome or something.
Wow.
And they said, we never paid anybody to make fake things, and their nose was like growing as they're talking. But obviously, when I read that, I'm like, of course. This is like the Playboy, Penthouse, Hustler, huge subscription. It used to be magazines. Right. You know, back in the day when I was a kid, you'd see the brown paper bag arrive at the house.
They had it at the barbershop.
At the barbershop, and behind they had the little wooden cover over it in front of the 7-Eleven or whatever the liquor store was. Playgirl was purchased by a gay man. Mm-hmm. I didn't know any females who would bother buying Playgirl because any female knows they just walk down the street and go, "Can I see your penis?" And the man would whip out the penis.
Of course.
It's like they don't need to buy a freaking magazine to see a penis. They don't want to see a penis. They can see them all day if they want. Of course they're not going to. I'm surprised that there were as many thousand. Like they said maybe 5,000 or 6,000. I was kind of shocked that there were that many. And of course they're free even. Mm-hmm. If you told men they could get on the site and have sex with women for free, there would be probably, how many men are on the planet? Maybe
all of them.
About 4 billion.
There'd
probably be about as many people have internet access. There'd be that many men signing up for the free thing.
Probably three accounts for women. Per man.
Yes, exactly right. So it's free for women, yet only 5,000 signed up, and apparently none of them actually. I mean, probably 1% of them actually engaged in some sort of activity with a male.
Well, that's because they have a site called Cougar Life, cougarlife.com. And Cougar Life is a 35 or older woman who's on the hunt for a much younger, energetic, willing to do anything male.
Yeah, baby. That's it's hard to find. A woman looking for a guy who'll do anything sexually. It's very hard. They need to go to a website to find this. They can't just go to the donut shop or to the laundromat or to the liquor store or to get their car washed or to pick up their dry cleaning or go to the grocery store.
Or
I guess they're shut-ins.
I guess so.
What they need. They can't order pizza. The cab driver, ladies, any man walking down the street, if you just ask them, they will have sex with you. You don't need to bother signing up. Anyway.
So, Avid Life Media, the company behind these three, has a counter offer now. They've offered $500,000 Canadian for information about the hackers.
Canadian?
Yeah.
Is it like pesos?
It's like $50 US, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good. I don't have any information, though. Mm-hmm. By the way, I think there has been. Can I jump in real quick?
Sure.
There also has been, or have been. I don't know if there was two, maybe one or two. A couple people have actually committed suicide because of this. Their names were on the list, and I don't know what they did. Blew their brains out, drank antifreeze. I don't know what they did. But now, I think the hackers actually should be. This is part of your punishment now. Attempt murder, maybe not quite murder, but manslaughter. I don't know what the charge would be, but
we're not lawyers.
Now we've got
Don't
blood.
Listen to our legal advice.
Now we've got blood because you had this information, you leaked it out on purpose, and people have now taken their own life because of this information that you leaked.
Well, they're illegally acquired information. Yeah. Anyways, it's bad news all around.
And by the way, you shouldn't be on Ashley Madison cheating on your wife or husband anyway. So, but all that said, hackers are a-holes. They release the information. Some people killed themselves. Now you should pay. That needs to be wrapped up in your punishment once they catch you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, that's very exciting.
What else you got?
Well, there was
Are you done yet with that one?
No, I'm done with Ashley Madison. I'm done with Cougar Life. I'm done with Established Gentlemen. Well, I never started with that. I don't understand that.
I probably cut you off and made you forget what you were talking about.
Did you get some listener feedback about that or something?
No. Is there listener feedback about me cutting you off?
No. I thought we're still figuring out our groove. So I did want to talk about this really interesting, if you could believe it, New York Times article.
Oh, New York Times.
Yeah, it's called The Creative Apocalypse That Wasn't.
And I'm very intrigued. And tell me more.
They talk about, it's okay, so here's a little bit from it. In July 11th, 2000, in one of the more unlikely moments in the history of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Senator Orrin Hatch handed the microphone to Metallica's drummer, Lars Ulrich, to hear his thoughts on art in the age of digital reproduction. Now, I remember this moment in life when Lars Ulrich and Metallica railed against Napster.
Yeah, I remember that.
Napster had lots of things going on illegally with it, and they were spending every moment of their existence trying to find ways to make a business model. The record industries wouldn't work with them. Artists wouldn't work with them. Nobody would work with them. And specifically because of Metallica's lawsuits, Napster went out of business. Ruined a bunch of people's lives.
Creator of Napster, played by Justin Timberlake in the movie based on what was the name of the movie with about Facebook? Remember?
Oh, about Facebook? I didn't see
what was
the social network?
Yeah, social network. It was Justin Timberlake played, what's his name? Sean something or other. He was the creator of Napster. He was helping him out starting Facebook.
There's a good documentary about Napster where Sean plays himself.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's great. So from that moment, if you could think back to that time, I was a big Metallica fan. I was so hurt. I have not listened to Metallica since then.
You were mad that so you were angry that they were angry you were stealing their music?
No, I wasn't stealing their music.
You weren't. You already had all their music.
That was the point.
You were ripping their CDs and letting other people steal it.
I listened. No, I didn't do that either. But see, the great promise of Napster was when you couldn't go online and just search for songs, when you could not go and listen to music that you'd never heard before.
Yeah.
Napster was suddenly the first time in the history of computers where you could say, well, I wonder what else they did, and let me go listen to some of it. And what happened and what proved to happen is people would go, wow, that's great. And then they would go buy the album. So after
I didn't. I just downloaded it. But
after this business with Metallica, I went through, I deleted Ride the Lightning, Garage Days Revisited, the Garage Black Album.
Garage Days Revisited or Garage Days Revisited? That's my favorite. No, that Revisited. I would never delete. I don't care how angry I was with
Revisited? No, that would no.
One with Green Hell and Crash Course and Brain Surgery.
I think you're talking about Garage Days Revisited.
No, I think this is Revisited. Look it up, baby. Anyway, I'll look it up while you're talking.
Well, whatever that is, when I raped your mother today, that's yeah. So I took all my favorite Metallica songs and I deleted them because I was very unhappy with this. So what the data has shown since then was that, we didn't have a creative apocalypse. Lars argued that artists were just going to go away. There was going to be no more. What was his specific argument was that no
one would buy anything really anymore. They would just steal it. That's basically his, in a nutshell, argument.
Well, and
or it would impinge so much on the sales that it would make it artists wouldn't even want to make new art.
So the argument came out that artists wouldn't be able to make money because of downloading music. So what has happened since then? Well, there's actually been research done, and we found that jobs in creative fields have been steady since 1999, since then, with slight growth from 1.3% to 1.4%. So we've had creative jobs steady. Mm-hmm. Now, independent artists, so not Metallica. Metallica is part of a label, but all the rest of the artists, the thousands of other artists that make money by making music, their income has gone up from 40%. Oh, it's grew by 40%. Their independent art. No, excuse me. Let me back the numbers up. Habiki 12-year. I'm not going to edit that out. So there are more independent artists today than there were in 1999. It's 40% more. And the amount of money that they make has increased by 60%. So there are more artists making more money than they did in 1999. Musicians are better off overall, but not the music companies.
Oh,
the music companies have had to deal with all the changes because the music company was basically, let's sign away your licensing,
right,
pay for your recording.
The company, this is excellent. I love this story. I'm loving this because the music companies used to be the ones who were taking 95% of everything, and it's like, well, we'll promote you, and they would give them a little stipend, but no, because of the internet, little thing called the internet, thank you, Al Gore, has made it easy for everybody to put their art straight out. Like you can, if you're good, you put a video on YouTube, you could have an instant. Can you hear my finger snapping there? You could have an instant mega viral hit without any record company being involved. No Ted Templeman, no Rick Rubin standing over your shoulder telling you what to do. You just did it yourself. People loved it. You have a record contract, and you're probably making a better percentage now than you were because it's kind of a the seller's market now as far as that goes on the artists go. So I like this. This.
It's something I talk about in my class is because technology has gotten more affordable. Because people can afford to have a recording studio in literally your iPad is a recording studio.
Right.
I have a 24-track high quality recorder on my iPad.
Yeah.
I don't need to use Logic and all this stuff. I could do it all on the iPad. I'm not, but because I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough to have a desktop and an iPad and all that. But so with the
like one of those guys, I could totally kill you right now with my jungle training, but I'm not. I'm not going to do it right now, but I could totally break your neck.
Well, but with the democratization of technology, there's more artists than there ever were. And what's really interesting is there are more people.
There's also more crappy artists. So you're having to wade through a lot more junk.
But there are more people now who are writers.
I think it's an overall good thing, yes.
Who are working in all kinds of creative industries than there ever were. Mm-hmm. So I found it really interesting. That's the New York Times. The creative apocalypse that wasn't.
So Lars basically failed to take into account the huge boom that would be created by this. Much like a guy like, that's weird, I was going to say Paul Ehrlich. Interesting. Ulrich Ehrlich. Paul Ehrlich was the guy that wrote the population bomb back in the 60s where he was predicting by the 80s we're going to be out of food. You're going to have to eat your grandmother's body. It's going to be rape. You're going to be eating dogs and cats because we're going to run out of food. We're going to run out of oil. The population's going to... He failed to take into consideration the technology and how somebody figured out a better way to find oil. What do you know? I think Paul Ehrlich, it might be Ehrlich, made a bet with some other famous economist. We should look this up somewhere. It's just off the top of my head, but I think they made a bet with someone that they were talking about prices of commodities like oil and steel and all these things. And Paul Ehrlich was saying that the price would go up and they would be unaffordable in the coming decades. The other guy said, no, they'll go down. And Ehrlich was wrong on everything. But by the way, he's still a professor. He's still, he's tenured professor, still lauded and still asked to speak everywhere, but he's a complete failure about all of his predictions.
Well, according to the Wikipedia, the Book of Knowledge, Ehrlich, which is Ehrlich, became well known for his controversial 1968 book, The Population Bomb, which asserted the world's human population would soon increase to the point where mass starvation ensued.
Right.
So, continue.
It completely does not take into account that we would come up with better ways of finding food, making food, processing food, shipping food, harvesting. It takes nothing. He just takes a snapshot of how things are now and just does stupid math to figure out. This is kind of what Lars Ulrich did. Just if things don't change now, the same thing. So never underestimate the power of the technology and the human spirit.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Thanks, Yoda.
So the conclusion is that the research in this article, the research the article points to, is really it's the best time ever to be in a creative profession. So you and I, Dave, we're in the right place the right time.
Okay. I hope that's correct. Checking our downloading numbers. All these deadbeats out there who aren't downloading our podcast. Not you listeners. You guys are good.
The listeners have downloaded.
You guys are good. Your friends are deadbeats for not downloading our show and listening. Get them on board. Come on.
I want you to go to 3 people that you know this week and share the show with them.
Let's create a chain email.
Or here's what I did to get a new listener this week. I gave my mom an older iPhone, and before I gave it to her, I subscribed her to the podcast and put it on her homepage.
Oh, there's got to be a word for that now, like like subscribe rape or something like that.
No, don't use that word around my mom.
Weird,
no,
but some kind of like. What?
You got to stay on the microphone, Dave.
Oh, sorry,
you're drifting.
I was drifting.
All right. Well, I had another thing I'd like to talk about if we still have time.
I have a quick thing too. Go ahead.
Tell me your quick thing first.
Oh, I watched. Have you seen Danny Collins?
No, tell me about it.
Al Pacino movie came out, I think, last year. Loosely based on...
Al Pacino's still alive?
Yes, he is.
Oh, amazing.
He's got a great ass. No,
I'm sorry, Al Pacino. I didn't know.
He's stars as a... it's based on a real guy named Steve Tilston.
Okay.
He's sort of like a Donovan kind of a guy, like British folksy rock guy, Donovan, Nick Drakey type of guy. But in the movie, he's more like a Neil Diamond type guy. But he's interviewed when he's really young in this article in like a Rolling Stone type magazine where the guy was interviewing him saying that do you think if you become famous, because you're going to be famous because you're fantastic, do you think it's going to change the way you write songs, your art, being famous? And he said, yeah, I think it might. Anyway, John Lennon, this is Steve Tilson I'm talking about here. John Lennon read that and sent him a letter. Telling him, and he put his phone number there. Give me a call. We'll talk about this. It shouldn't change your art. Blah blah blah. He sent it to the magazine company, and the guy never sent it to him. So he kept it. So because he wanted it. He's like, it's got a freaking letter from John Lennon. So he kept it for like 30 years. Wow. So the guy never saw it until he was much older. And in the movie, it's kind of a Neil Diamond guy. He's got his big hit. He's just doing his hits and stuff. And he's got his greatest hits, Volume 3. He's singing the same crap. And he gets brought this letter. Hey, a collector sold this, and he reads it. He's like, oh my god! So it inspires him to go right back to his roots and write again. So the movie was pretty good. A bit of an unsatisfying ending, but overall I liked it.
No, sounds good.
I went to check Steve Tilston's music. The real Steve Tilston, bunch of crap. Awful. Couldn't listen to it. Every track was a skipper. I call them a skipper track.
Every track's
where
a
skipper. Like skip. Every single one of them. Okay, one of them was maybe tolerable, but he's very like Donovan-y. I love Donovan. Love Nick Drake. He's very Donovan, Nick Drake, except for subtract the good melodies and interesting lyrics, and you have Steve Tilston.
Okay.
So there you go. So watch the movie, but do not go looking for Steve Tilston music if you think you're going to be entertained.
All right, I'll look forward to that. Okay, so real quick, you know that I have a penchant to follow drone stories.
All right, our drone alert.
Drone alert.
We should probably get a jingle for the
drone alert. I'm working on a jingle for our next segment we're going to have next week with you.
I hope I can contribute to it. I'm not sure if I will. I think maybe I'll have something for next week.
You have to be in the car.
Surprise. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, everyone's just licking their lips.
And I want to let the listeners know we're going to finish, we're going to finish, if not tonight, this weekend, our Targaryen Girl Game of Thrones.
Oh, don't pimp it out.
I'm going to pimp it out right now. You got to listen next week for Targaryen Girl.
Yeah, we're going to drop our new song.
a Game of Thrones parody. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
It's 90% done right now, and it's 90% great. It's only missing some of my guitar licks on there. So, of course, now that I've told everyone, it's screwed up. So, drones.
We're going to close it out. We'll bring it on home with the drones.
It was believed that Republican presidential candidate Ben Carson had said we should use drone strikes on caves.
This came up on the I Doubt It with Dollamore show when we were on.
Well, he's pushed back on the notion that he would use weaponized drones to kill people along the U.S.-Mexican border.
He said, or is he pushing back on people's reaction to what's he pushing back on?
He said, in no way did I suggest using drones to kill people.
Wait, is that Ben Carson?
I don't know what it is.
Ben Carson kind of talks like this. He's a black guy, but he has kind of a mousy voice and almost a lateral lisp.
He said Sunday, appearing on CNN's State of the Union, how ridiculous. Carson's comments...
Good. He has a slight lisp, yeah. Brilliant man, though.
Okay.
Way more accomplished than any other of the candidates, but he's not going to win because he has a funny voice.
Well, his comments came after a helicopter tour of the U.S.-Mexico border, and he doubled down on his recommendation to use armed drones to blow up caves, but added they would make sure the caves were empty.
So he was just talking about blowing up the caves so they wouldn't be used for... See, that's what I brought this up on the show. I said, is he talking about just destroying the caves so they can't be used, or just randomly shooting a Tomahawk missile into it without even bothering to check if Guadalupe and her family is in there?
I'm kind of against the idea of flying...
I'm assuming it's Guadalupe and not like some Chinese immigrants. They usually come over on their visa and then overstay their visa, which is actually... Those people outnumber the Mexicans coming from the south. But, yeah. So.
They don't make a lot of ruckus, though.
They're still illegal.
They all stay in Monterey Park.
I'd prefer that you all, if you're coming into the country, come in through the front door, sign the guest book so we know who you are. You know, give us an idea who you are.
Have you been to Alhambra? Have you been to Alhambra lately?
Alhambra. Yeah, San Gabriel. Yeah. We used to go. Yeah. My buddy Ron and I, we used to go to the Quaiway Theater to see all the John Woo movies.
Is that a massage parlor?
No. Maybe now. I don't know. I haven't been there in a long time. But we used to have to go there to see the John Woo movies back in the 90s because no one was showing them except the Chinese theater. So we would go there and we'd have to sit in there and people would be smoking in there and eating fish wrapped in wax paper. That was the most bizarre thing. Like, this guy's eating freaking fish and he's using wax paper, which is the noisiest, it's the most unfriendly theater paper that you'd want to wrap something in. Anyway, that was great.
So I only like to eat popcorn with jalapenos slathered on them.
I know that about you. I like that. I've partaken of your jalapeno-laced popcorn.
And sometimes red vines. But I personally don't think that any kind of military aerial vehicle, manned or unmanned, should be flying over the country, blowing up anything. I don't want military missiles flying on the country unless there are enemy jets flying overhead.
Yeah, true. It's definitely lends itself to being abused, possibly, if you get the wrong crowd in charge of them. Like if you get Democrats in charge of them, they could go wrong. I'm just kidding. I also want to know too if they're just going to be blowing up caves. Might there be some sort of endangered species of bat in there? We could get PETA. We could be ruffling some feathers of in PETA there.
Oh yeah,
so that animal pun there I just made.
If there was a coyote bringing over a group of 20 illegal aliens hiding out in the cave.
Let me imagine. I'm imagining Danny Trejo. Okay, what's he doing?
And then the drone blows up the cave. There's going to be a few people upset. Oh, protest.
And Danny Trejo pulls the cord on a chainsaw and throws it, and it hits the drone and knocks it out.
But then it's off of the news cycle, right?
Yeah.
But if there was an endangered species of bat, and the drone strike killed 50% of the population, there would be lawsuits. People would be losing their mind.
The bat population?
Of the endangered species. Let's say there was an endangered species of bat, and 50% of that endangered species population was destroyed when that particular cave was blown up. We would never hear the end of it.
Well,
there'd be fundraisers. There'd be celebrity concerts.
Yeah. The concert for Bangladesh. Something.
President Obama would come on to...
I apologize for that. That's a horrible joke.
He would come on TV saying, text your donation to this number we don't need your bat cages. We just need your money.
Did you suggest though that if they killed a cave full of Mexicans, that it wouldn't be a big story? Because it definitely would.
There'd be a story,
but only if Republicans were in charge of the drone. If it was Obama in charge of the drone, it'd be like, "Hey, sorry about the the slaughtering of the Mexicans that were in the cave." But it definitely would be a bigger story if it were the bats, Democrats. But if the Republicans, it would be a huge story because we killed people that have dark skin, and that would be a big deal if it's Republicans who were in charge.
So Ben Carson wants to shoot military missiles on U.S. soil to blow up caves, but not to kill people. Just clarifying.
So he clarified. Okay.
I may not agree with him, but I just wanted to clarify that.
All right. I'd still take him over Hillary. He's not going to be able to use his drones to blow up caves anyway. Who cares? All right. Do we have anything else we wanted to talk about or no?
Oiga, Welt, did you see the time? We should call it a night, Dave.
What else would you call it?
We could call it a day.
Now you've gone too far.
Okay. I'd like to thank you for subscribing to the show. You can find the Indispensable Thursday Show on iTunes and everywhere that fine podcasts are served. We want to hear your voice. Call our hotline at...
Oh, come on, dude. It's in the different tab.
Every week, Dave.
6'5". You didn't put that in your little script there?
It is.
Oh, you just pointed to me just to humiliate me. 657-206-0777. Once again, 657-206-0777.
That's right. 657-206-0777 and leave us a message. We appreciate your iTunes star reviews. We invite you to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Indispensable Thursday Show or follow us on Twitter at Sable and Dave. Bye, Dave.
Bye.